The Federal Treasurer has ordered the competition watchdog to investigate the banks over their refusal to pass on interest rate cuts in full to customers. The ACCC will look into the entire sector, including the pricing of residential mortgages and any obstacles customers face in changing lenders. Political reporter Jane Norman joins us now live from Parliament House. Hi, Jane. So this is a constant source of friction between governments and the banks. What is this inquiry expected to achieve?
Well, Ros, Josh Frydenberg, the Treasurer, says we basically need much more information from the banks about their costs, about the different kind of mortgage products offered to new and existing customers, and ultimately why they are refusing to pass on these interest rate cuts in full to their customers. Since January, the Reserve Bank has cut interest rates 3 times to their lowest level ever, but the banks have only passed on about 3/4 of those cuts to consumers, despite much pressure from the federal government and the Reserve Bank Governor. Now, the Treasurer's Office says the bank's decision to not pass on the full interest rate cuts will mean that their profits go up by about $570 million this year alone, while a customer with a mortgage of around $400,000 will be paying an extra $500 a year. So this inquiry is pretty broad-ranging into the entire residential mortgage market. It'll look at all banks, but certainly the Treasurer has made it clear that the big 4 banks are once again in the spotlight, given that they've really got the lion's share of mortgage debt. The Treasurer Josh Frydenberg was on the ABC this morning, and this is his justification for this latest inquiry into the banking sector.
Well, we need all the information at hand about the cost of funds of the banks, about the difference between what they charge existing customers and new customers, and in terms of why they are not passing on these rate cuts in full after the RBA has said that their cost of funds have come down significantly and they should be passed on. As you say, the Australian public, Michael, are sick and tired of the merry dance where the RBA has cut rates 3 times in recent months. The government and the RBA itself have called on the banks to pass them on, and the banks have just ignored that advice and that call.
So, Jane, what's been the reaction to today's announcement?
Well, Josh Frydenberg actually called the bank chiefs yesterday to tell them about this looming inquiry. He says it'll help clear the air over this issue that dogs governments and banks going back many, many years. We have had some response from the banking sector. The Australian Bankers Association, the sort of umbrella organisation for the banks, says they're looking forward to the opportunity to cast more light on mortgage pricing and the factors that influence the setting of interest rates. One of the more interesting responses has come from the ANZ chief, Shane Elliott, who's acknowledged that there is cynicism in the community about interest rates for home loans. He concedes the banks have not done a good job in explaining their position, and he says this will provide an opportunity to add some facts in what is a complex space. Now, politically, Labor has very much welcomed this, so it will be a bipartisan inquiry. The Shadow Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, almost taking the opportunity or taking responsibility for, or taking credit, I should say, for this ACCC inquiry. Here's what he had to say.
Labor's been calling for the ACCC to play a bigger role in banking competition. So we welcome this announcement in principle, but we will go through the detail. It was only a little more than a week ago, when Labor was calling for the ACCC to play a bigger role, that the government dismissed it as a distraction. So they've been dragged to this, kicking and screaming. They would rather not be going down this path. They are only going down this path because of pressure from the community and media and Labor.
Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers there. And Ros, the ACCC should hand down its preliminary report on this issue in March next year.
Thanks, Jane.